Hey guys, so earlier on in the week, I shared with you a video on how I go about buying rental properties here in the UK. Some of you might be aware I just bought my third rental property here in the UK near me, and I thought I'd follow on that video with another rental property video talking about the true cost of running a rental property because I thought that might come in handy tied together with my previous video. So I have my trusted notepad here with me, so when I look down I'm referencing my notes because I wanted to share with you everything that I have experienced since becoming a landlord 3 years ago. Now I bought my first rental property in 2021. So yeah, let's get into this video. So if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Miranda, and on this channel I share everything personal finance. I cover budgeting, saving and investing. If these topics are of interest to you, then please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into today's video. So the first thing that I want to mention when it comes to the cost of running a rental property is not the usual. This one would normally be a second for most people, but I'm putting it as a first because it's the first thing that happens for me. So the first thing is management fees. Now, I've put this first because I chose to use management companies to manage my properties. Even though the properties are in my area, even though I could easily manage them, I do not have time in my life to allocate towards managing rental properties. Hence, I chose to hire a management company. So for me, that is the first cost that I actually endure every single month. Before I even get the rent in my account, the management fees are taken out. So I spend about 10%, 9% for one property, 10% for the other two, of my rent, my monthly rental income that I pay to the management company. So they take that out plus VAT, and then they send me the rest towards my account. So that is the first thing. Now, for some people who manage their own properties, this is not a problem for people. This is not a cost, I should say, that they have to consider because they manage their own property. But for me, I'm using a management company and I'm using their full premium service. So my tenants don't have my number, I don't have theirs. I know their names, I know where they work, I know their references and stuff like that. But beyond that, I leave everything in my management company. And I took some time to research which management companies I wanted to use. I have two at the moment. The second one comes with the second rental property. This is a management company that personally, over the years, I never had such great experience with them, but they seem to have been managing this property quite well. So I'm trying them out for a year and see if they are going to be great. If not, then I'll move to my current management company that I use for the first two rental properties. So that is what I'm doing. But yes, so I am paying 9% for one of the rental properties. I have the first rental property, 10% for the second one, or is it the other way around? Can't remember. And then for the most recent one, it's also 10% that I will be paying in management fees. So that is the first cost that I have before anything happens. The second cost for me is the mortgage. So I mentioned in my how I go about buying rental properties that I take out mortgages on these properties. So I have to pay a mortgage. Now, for the first two rental properties, I have interest only mortgages, which means the amount that I took out for the house never changes. I only pay the interest on that amount. And then at the end, I actually will have to pay off the entire balance if I choose to keep this rental property until like I retire or what have you. In the 30, I have 30-year mortgages, but obviously every single time my 5-year fixed, 2-year fixed ends, I go to another provider, I look for a better deal and stuff like that. But at the end of the 30 years, whomever I'll have as a lender at that time, I will need to pay them off. And I will talk about this a little bit more in the next bit of this video. So for me, it is the mortgages that I have to pay. Then the third thing that I have to pay, so the cost that I have to think about, is insurance. Now, I said I have 30-year mortgages for these rental properties. So I took out a mortgage for a rental property that I have to pay the lender every single month. I also have insurances on all of these houses, and I think I have 3 types of insurance. The first one that I have is insurance, life insurance, essentially, or landlord insurance, whatever you want to call it, which at the end of 30 years, they will pay me the lump sum, and then I'll use that money to pay off my mortgage, so that in 30 years' time, whoever my dependents will be, they'll be able to inherit that house without any debt on it. And also, God forbid, but should something happen to me or I have an untimely death, the lender would also pay the mortgage out as well. So again, whoever my dependents will be, they will be inheriting a home that is fully paid for. So my insurances are quite expensive. I think I've seen a lot of like UK finance bloggers when they're sharing their budget, and you look at how much they're paying in terms of insurance, and just like, whoa, I wish my insurance was that low. But then discussing with some of them, I see what I'm actually after and what they are after are two different things. So yeah, I actually pay quite a bit for my insurance. So that's the first insurance that I have to pay off my mortgage entirely. Then the second type of insurance that I have is in terms, it's actually, if I was to go like on long-term disability or was to get ill and stuff like that, they would be paying me the monthly income that I get from my employer. So we have actually at the moment a fixed amount that has been included in my insurance, and that is the amount that if I was to go off on sick leave or what have you for at least 6 months, then they'll start paying me that amount every single month. So my insurance bit is set up that the first part is covered by my employer, so the first 6 months by my employer, then after that, depending on how long I'll be off on sick leave or what have you, then the insurance will pay out. The third one that I have is in relation to the contents of my my properties. So for the rental properties, even my own home, I have buildings and contents insurance, and I take that very seriously, because as a homeowner, there's nothing like having insurance that covers you when things break down. Sure, I have emergency funds, but that's not what I want to use most of my money for, because I pay good insurance so that I'm covered in cases of damage or loss or stuff like that. So those are the three insurances that I have. Then I have more like I have one more for my first rental property, because I bought some appliances for that I included in, and I got its own specific insurance for that appliance. So other than that, all of the insurances that I have for the content is covered in the contents, buildings and contents insurance. So yeah. And then now moving on to the fourth thing that I have to think about. My battery is flashing, so I don't know if I'll finish this video in one take. But the fourth thing I have is maintenance and miscellaneous things. So ever since I became a landlord, I haven't had, touch wood, a lot of things that I've needed fixing, but things like shower curtain broke. We needed to, thankfully not to replace the boiler, but we needed to, for one of my rental properties, the kitchen unit, when I bought the washing machine, what I bought was too big for the space, and they didn't do the size that my specific rental property had, so that was a bit tricky. So we had to make the space a little bit bigger, so that was a cost that I needed to pay for. And then I chose for certain things, which is including my management fees, to pay early, like the deposit scheme. So in the UK, I don't know about other countries, but in the UK there's a deposit scheme where the tenant pays a deposit into that deposit scheme, and it's kept separate from myself and from themselves, from the tenants as well. And then at the end, when the tenant decides to move out, I have to give that deposit back. But me and the tenant, well, my management company and the tenant would discuss if they are getting the whole amount. If they didn't damage anything, then they get the whole amount, no qualms about it. If they damage something, then we'll let them know, then they can either pay up front or we take it from the deposit. So that deposit scheme it's something that I have to pay for through my management company. So that is taken as one of the first things, including my management fee plus the deposit scheme. But I chose for one of my rental properties to just pay it off fully in advance, and I did that because it reduces the amount I have to pay the management company, but increases how much I take home. But there's been a lot of other miscellaneous things that I have had to pay for, which I will be including in the tracker when I send it to my accountant for submitting my taxes for this ended tax year. So yeah, I think that is it. I think I haven't had, touch wood, a lot of things that have required me to pay, but essentially I am left with a nice profit, and I'll try and put a tracker into this video to show you the profit that I'm left with from each property once I take out the management fees, the mortgage, the insurances, maintenance, and other miscellaneous costs that I have to pay for my properties. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.